So me and Damien are here to talk about polarity and what polarity integration can do for us in our lives, in all levels of our lives, and what a separation of the polarities and not fully embracing it, what it actually can create as blocks and resistance, and really allowing the source and flow from source to not move through. So we would like to invite you to this talk. We connected, and this topic came very strongly up from source and wanted to integrate and work through both of us, as I present the female body and you present, Damien, the male body, but we both hold the same energies.
Yes. And for me, it's I work very much cellular, and also with the frequencies of the coding, the blueprint of the feminine and the masculine. And it's interesting what's been coming in since we connected, actually. And that is the feminine, the masculine before the mammal. So it's like the creator, the father creator of the universe, mother creator of the universe, the womb, Mother Earth, before any trauma entered the system. What came up very strong for me as well was the blueprint of our essence, the essence of our soul, before incarnating on this planet. So to open up these systems. So this is the purest essence of our soul, of the divine within cellularly. For me, it's very important cellularly, because when I work within the cells, if you imagine the cells, we look at these aura pictures, with all the different auras, the different non-physical aspects, but physical aspects, and then the non-physical. And they're all layers cellularly within the cells. So for me, it's about organizing our house before we go into higher dimensions. Because if the cells are not aligned, then there's out of alignment with the polarities, the victim or all the abuse energies. So what I do is I sort of work like the Russian dolls cellularly and build them all up structurally through the system and activate the blueprint of each one. So it sort of then cleans out or brings a new frequency. It's like quantum entanglement. So it works in the quantum field. So it almost like releases the shadow area. It's like integrating the shadow. For me, this is not a good or bad. It's about integration and embracing and loving each of the aspects, so the elements, and to integrate. So I feel the combination of the work is really perfect and powerful.
Yeah, and also clearing the cellular memory. That's usually also what I do when I work, like really clearing and working with the cellular memory. Parts of them are from the divine higher source creation, and parts of the cellular memory are from traumas, from programs, from ancestral lines. And that's also what we are intending to go in and look at on a deeper level. And as I receive the work is to working with the polarities in this way to look at what separates the poles, that there's always two poles in everything. And as soon as we start to work, we're noticing that we are resisting and we have certain limiting beliefs around the poles, so they are not merging as they should. So the work here, as it has been presented for us, is also a lot about seeing what creates this separation that is really an illusion, and look at the old systems that are running in our field and go deeper. I think many of the people that are listening to this have already done a lot of inner wound work, like inner child and work with the wounds. But as I see, this polarity work is next level. Once you've done the wound work and you feel like you've healed a lot of your inner child, starting to work with the polarity is kind of really the next level. And it goes to the whole collective right now, actually, because it's not there. The system is not there. We don't know many people that have fully harmonized in between these poles. Absolutely, right?
Yes. We've been working so much with the genetic information, the ancestral wounds, the ancestral trauma that's been in the system. And also our past life trauma. It's within our cells. It's all like in our vessel. So we are the child of our ancestors, because we're the ones who can transform what they couldn't transform. And then we send that information back to the ancestors, and then they send all the gifts to us. So for me, it's about the genetics in this. So first, it's about embodiment of my genetic place. So my place has been the son of my parents, biological parents, and to honor everybody, children on front, siblings beside, and to activate the genetics. Because with the genetics, then you open up the coding of the DNA, and then you can incarnate fully into this vessel. And also the elements, like the 84 elements within our system, then can open up the system. So we're made up of the stars, we're made up of the universe. Mother Earth is in us. We are the universe. And when we work through the genetic lines, as you say, about transforming whatever wounds are in the system, what wounds are in us from the womb, the inner child wounds through our life or whatever programming, then our vessel gets stronger. I always see the vessel like a glass, that's been shattered with those wounds, and then we're supporting the vessel to come back and the soul fragments to come back in. And when you support your vessel, your chalice, to become stronger, especially the lower chakras, then you can hold more frequency, you can hold more of your being, more of your essence without splitting from yourself. And for me, the ego was created of these splits, so these wounds that's in our system. The bigger the ego, it means the bigger the more wounds are in the system. So we're very compassionate with the child. It's usually from the womb up to 16, where these wounds are created. But we also carry the wounds of the ancestors. So as we transform through the work we're doing, it dissolves, it heals these aspects and brings us back together, so our chalice can hold more of our spirit, more of our being. Our being is huge. We're incredible. We have the unlimited potential.
And as you're talking, so much is coming through. It's always like this, like I should write now as soon as we connect. And this is the beauty. Also to understand, I feel many people, clients that comes to me and people that kind of follows me, and you're probably feeling the same, Damien, is that we try to figure things out still on a mental level and an emotion level. And of course, it's part of the human experience to understand and integrate everything on a mental and emotional level and physical level. But the work that we are going to do, as I really feel it strongly, is to assist on all the subconscious level. Go deep within the system as we're opening the space and start to work in areas that it's really hard to connect with yourself. And something happens also when we are many coming together with the intention to make a shift, not only in ourselves, but as you say, in the future timelines, past timelines, and also in the whole collective. So the intention here is to assist all of you that are really committed in your work right now, in your ascension, in your inner growth, and coming back to your essence and your truth by working, clearing, and kind of activating the true system. So once we come out from the webinar, that things can click into their place.
Absolutely. For me, the creation codes, when it's activist creation, just like the ecosystem of the planet, of the forest, for example, of the ocean, everything is in harmony and balance. When it's in harmony and balance, it's thriving. We are here to create. We're here to thrive. And when things are out of balance, when there's a wound in the system, it knocks the system out of balance. So it's about bringing in the nature codes again and bringing it all back into balance and synchronicity. So I've been working a lot, for example, with the different aspects. So we've got many soul aspects which have been wounded, and then they're out of balance. Like, as you say, when the feminine, the masculine has been wounded a lot, and feminine, masculine's been out of balance, then we're not in our system. So we're in our wounded archetypes. So what I've really been drawn to bring in is new codes of the feminine and masculine to bring it back into balance. So it's the subconscious fields, And for me, the way I work is really that you feel it, sense it in your system, and then the information comes in after, before the mind kicks in. So it's going into the being. It's like a soul transmission. The soul gets it, and then the mind will get the information. So it will work sort of in the reverse, you know. And it's so beautiful, because the work, for example, that we've been doing separately in our own systems and many past lives too, when you transform a key, you have the transformational information in your system. So it's in our being, and each one of us have it in our systems. So when we come together in a group field, we're sharing the keys of transformation with each other, and this chalice gets very, very strong within group fields. So what experiences, for example, Mia, you would have that I don't have, your soul is sharing those keys into the system, and then my soul says, do I need that human experience, or do I accept what you're offering me in this field? A lot of the time, our systems accept what's in the field. Then sometimes I find that some sense say, no, you need that experience. So you take the frequency, but now you need the human experience. And then you have a human experience, say, okay, I behave different, or I make a new choice. So these group fields are very, very powerful. And with the intention, as you say, if we all go in with the one intention from our heart space, then the field will be prepared to bring in the highest potency and the highest potential for that group, for the group field within this webinar.
Yeah. Yes, it's exactly as you say it. You described it so well, Damien. Like, we might receive it to the energy body that is ready to receive the code. And it might be the emotional energy body. And, then we're going to need to integrate it in the other energy bodies. And also, I feel also it's so interesting that you talked about the physical experiences to feel it, because I got that information yesterday when I was meditating, to assist the participants in really feeling the true aspect of the divine feminine, how that feels. Because honestly, have we ever really felt the true divine feminine in this incarnation? Have we been ready to fully receive it? That's also why we've been called to do this work, because many of us are ready now. And the same with the masculine, to really bring into all the participants into the field to feel the true divine masculine, because it's so distorted, both parts. That really came through to me. So if we can feel it, if we can sense it, actually starting in our physical energy body and not in the spiritual energy body, starting from the first field of our auric field, then actually it's easier to manifest it into reality, because many of us are doing webinars, we do activations, we're doing amazing healing work, and stay somehow in the spiritual field, maybe mental, emotional, but it's really hard to penetrate it into the physical, which don't make it possible to manifest it into physical reality.
Absolutely. My intention always is to, I started off with the work more out in the beginning. And I was guys saying, no, you need to get into your cells. You need to work with the physical aspect first, and then work up through the systems, because otherwise you're not getting the physical manifestation, because we're here as spirit in this physical aspect. So it's to embrace life, to enjoy life, to experience life, to thrive in life. So if you keep the word intention is the key for accessing all systems. So if you put the intention into the webinar or into your healing, that it's physical, it starts with the physical and then works up through the etheric and all the different subtle bodies, then you will get physical transformation in your life on all levels. So the feminine masculine absolutely has been so distorted in the system that we don't know what the true feminine masculine is from the mind level. We haven't experienced it. And even if I go back in the ancestral lines, it's just not there. It's like, how many generations has it been distorted? And so for what I was guided to, that's why I'm, for example, living in Greece, is the ancient temples of the feminine and masculine and the leaders. So bring in the blueprints of the feminine and the masculine. And it's amazing. It's a different frequency to what you think it is. And it's easy in a way and so supportive. And it allows you to feel safe to be present. And it realigns your spine, it realigns your essence, and you can feel these aspects, these subtle aspects opening. Sometimes it's like fireworks, or sometimes it's very subtle. That's in the beginning, I was like, oh, if it's not fireworks, I'm getting a big result. But actually, the more subtle, the more results. Actually, it's just coming in. It changes all the time. But it's very, very beautiful. It's like if you say to somebody, love, you don't even know what love is in the system. It's about feeling, sensing, bringing in the codes of love. And it's not what the Hollywood, I call it Hollywood love, is. It's different. So it's a state of being. It's pure creation. And when you go into a pure state of creation, there is like this, I don't know, this life force. And it's interesting. It's like this, it's like my dog, like he's every morning, tuning into his cells. So it's this creation. It's like, I'm here to create. What are we going to do today? But it's creation not from lack, but it's creation out of like joy, excitement. It's almost like being surfing on a wave. This field of surrender to the divine, surrender to creating and manifesting in this present state of moment. So when you're in that state of, then
abundance.
Yes, you're in abundance, you're in celebration, you're in courage, you're in joy, you're in manifestation, and you're in the results. And your fullest potential flows through your system because you're not focusing on the victim state consciousness. You're focusing on, I can do it, let's do it. Let's have fun doing it. Let's create it. Let's create it. And that's the message that I was getting when I was living in Greece. Actually, it was like the ancient gods archetypes are coming to me and say, Damien, enjoy life. You're here to enjoy it. You're in this body now. Enjoy it. Celebrate it. Be abundant in it. Live it. And live all aspects of the human aspect as well in the spirituality of the body. It's in the temple. So, beautiful time to be here.
Yeah. Beautiful. And as you say, like, why should I do this? Because sometimes I can feel like, certain topics is more, we like, I want to do this, but we feel also resistance to certain topics. And again, it's like, why should I do that? Because why should I do this work if the polarities are not in coexistence, if they are not in true like merge, actually in marriage with each other, like really fully assisting each other, we cannot step into abundance. I mean, every one of us want to experience that orgasmic, ecstatic state of like really feeling life on all levels. And that's when the feminine and masculine comes together. There's polarities is so much more than the feminine and masculine, but it's easy to talk about it from that aspect. But to equally receive and transmit, I mean, that's, I think, is the human challenge. The human experience challenge to equally receive as I transmit. I mean, as light workers and people in service, all of us that are here in the rescue mission of this planet, easily just transmit and give, but it's, as you said, we need to enjoy. So how can the moment I'm transmitting from the masculine within me, how can I also receive from the feminine? And from the feminine, as I'm receiving, how can I also in the same time transmit? And that's really the work that will happen on a cellular level. Even in the DNA structure, this is going to be affected. So it's a huge work that somehow is hard to explain into human words because it's so big, it's so profound, and creates kind of the platform we need to stand on from now on to step into the new earth that we came here to experience. So it's really, it's not the things that we have on the outside. We know that we all tried to get all the outer stuff and it didn't work. So get this full sacred marriage so we can access also source. I mean, all of us want to have a strong connection, I think, with God's source, allowing the Christed light to come through that holds the true universal, the truth and nothing but the universal truth. We want to access that truth, the streaming of the Christed light, the full source creation, as you say. And that cannot happen if there's a part of the masculine or feminine that we are suppressing or resisting. So it's really going deep, checking that, but in the same time also, as you say, really activate and find back the true essence of who we are.
Even the word feminine and masculine has such a charge to the system that a lot of people resist the system. So I like to make it really simple. negative and positive polarities of the magnets, okay? So the magnets, when we're aligned, negative, positive, because we need negative and positive in the system, okay? That's called surrender, but it opens up the field of energy, which this is in our spine. This is through all the chakras. And cells, the cells need this negative, positive poles. If there's a trauma in the system, they're blocked and the system is closed, okay? And you don't have creation. So to make it very simple, it's simply allowing your cells and your system become negative and positive. You can call it feminine, masculine, you can call it negative and positive. It's all the one. And when this field is open, there's a field of living vibrational energy, of frequencies, and our aspects are all active, thriving and flowing and manifesting within this magnetic field, where gravity, the magnetic field of Mother Earth and the negative positive poles of Mother Earth are really important, because this opens up this huge torus field, which is the field of Mother Earth as well. We are Mother Earth. We are creation. So when the magnets are aligned, when the cells are aligned, that means that all our aspects can be aligned without even thinking about it. It's a state of being. Whereas the frozen parts of us, the wooden parts of us, are controlling ourselves from flowing in a state of being. We don't trust because we have wounds in the system. But it's really simple when you bring it down to the magnetic field, negative, positive, feminine, masculine. You need them. They need to be aligned in the cells. And this way, all the elements come into alignment. This way, all the aspects of the soul vibrate, because each aspect of different qualities, different vibrations. We are vibrational beings in the physical aspect. And it's like, I support a lot of people in the past for transition. And you can see, if any of you have experienced to be close to a loved one when they make transition, when the last breath, spirit leaves, you can see the system closes. The vessel closes. And then when the spirit's in, it's thriving. So while our spirit is in this body, we can thrive cellularly. And then the system of spirit, because the spirit has, I was just counting what I was bringing in, the aspects yesterday. I think I got about 30 different aspects of the spirit. And each of these aspects have different qualities. So it's almost like, I was describing it, I saw it, it's like, okay, what do cells look like? And it's almost like the cells are like this crystal. They're all different facets with different aspects of the soul. And by honoring the cells, and the aspects are activated within the cells, this brilliance of spirit, of creation, which is the universe, which is us, cellularly, because the universe codes are in my system, in all of us. When we activate that, we get the full power of the universe and creation of the universe working through us. And then we're all interconnected. Unity consciousness state we're moving into, we're in right now. This is the unity consciousness field. So we're coming out of the polarity, like the separation parts, and we're going back into unity consciousness. I am you, you are me. I am one with the whole universe, because the universe is within. And then creation flows, and then it's all synchronicity. Synchronicity of life opens up, synchronicity of creation and flow. And then you thrive, you simply flow through life. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Beautiful. I love the magnets, seeing them. And it's really also this thing about, in one way, there's no gender, but in another way, we actually live on Earth where there actually is genders. And we have made a choice to come into a female body and into a male body. And there's a reason for that, but still there's no separation between the feminine and the masculine. And I can feel it so much when we have been interacting, you and me, Damien. Sometimes I hold the masculine and you step into the feminine. Sometimes you hold the masculine, I step into the feminine. And this is a beauty. This is how we're supposed to flow. But And I think we've done so much healing, so much clearing, all of this, and it never really ends. But as we're moving up to this soul level healing now, we heal so much of the first, second, and third chakra that is more about the ego and just having this first, second, and third density experience. We're moving up to the higher now, fourth, fifth, sixth dimension. And that's when the soul starts to really get healed, and we're bringing in all of these soul aspects. And that's where it's going to be so important to feel and sense when we are out of balance, when we are not in harmony. So this is going to be for the rest of our lives, I think, that to have this balance, to feel, to get to understand it. Once a lot is healed, it's just to get to know these aspects of ourselves. And sometimes they tend to take over a little bit, a part of it, and just to know how to come back into balance and find that harmony and be okay with that, be in full compassionate witness state also of what is happening in our field, and also leave the old template of perfection.
Yes.
Because this is not what we're moving into, right? It's not about perfection. Once this merged, I'm going to be perfect, because we still said yes to have this human experience that is all about a continuous journey of finding, the balance and enjoying. Absolutely. To find that balance.
And you said it so perfectly as well about the differences between the male and the female. They're completely different, and it's very important to acknowledge that they are different. They're not competing, they're not against each other, they are different and have different qualities. So for me, it's very important to integrate all my masculine qualities and are different to my feminine qualities and work different. We're trying to force them to say you're stronger or better, or you're more destroying, or different things. No, they're different. And what's happening in the collective field is that they're trying to diluting the masculine and feminine out of the system, and they're taking the father and mother out of the system on the world at the moment. And that, for me, is really, we need to watch that, because there's a difference between the feminine and the masculine, and they're completely different. They are not the same. They're not one of the same thing. And if you take out of the mother and the father out of the system, the children, they disconnect them from their genetic system. So it's very important that we honor and stay sovereign to the feminine and masculine, father and mother in the system. Otherwise, you're disconnected from your state of being. And so I really want to honor the feminine, masculine, and the genetic information of the father and the mother in the system. Without that, I'm out of my DNA, and I'm out of my system, and I'm out of my genetic place in this life system. If I'm out of that, I'm in my mind, and then I can be programmable. So this is really important, that we become conscious and aware of what is happening in the collective field and how to manifest this total state of being, to honor who we are as creators and honor the differences of our feminine and our masculine, our father and our mother aspect within, and also in this genetic place.
Yeah, because if we don't honor that, we also lose the whole purpose of our mission. We came here with a soul purpose, and if we lose that part with the mother and father, the female and the masculine, we will come out of line, and we will not be able to be in the highest timeline. It's just how all the frequencies work. So it's a very important topic, and I feel like it really creates a lot of the foundation of where we're heading also. If we look at 2022, what is it bringing for us? I think this year is really, on all levels, as I'm receiving so much, is about really stepping into your life purpose and really doing that, because we are also in the polarities. We talked about it yesterday, you and me. It's like this huge construction and destruction happening at the same time right now. And it's not like a slow, destruction and a slow construction. It's like, wow, it goes so fast now. Fast.
And you can have the results in the now. That's so beautiful about it. As destructive it is at the moment, there's even more powerful transformation at the moment. It's incredible, like the results within the webinars, within the sessions, is so opening lifetimes of work in one moment. It's incredible transformational field at the moment, and it's a beautiful time to be here. This year for me is the year of mastery, of abundance, of creating and manifesting, that I've overcome my wounds, and now I'm here as a creator to manifest my full state of being consciously in my life and to enjoy and celebrate the results. So for me, it's very much about, this is new earth. I've mastered the different separations, polarities in my system. So it's about living new earth, creating new earth in consciousness and coherence on all levels. So it's like dropping. I can feel I'm getting almost like dropping out of those stories and old matrices of even the polarity wounds, and it's going into more creation, more power, more potency and celebration. But I can feel there's so much support for us, and that to be respectful for others as well, that we're all on the journey at the perfect alignment for what the experience we need here in time. And it's to stay true to yourself. So for me, it's the year of truth on every level. It's the temple of truth. And I received my book of truth. So why am I here? What am I here for? Live it, Damien. Enjoy it, enjoy it, enjoy it. That's what I keep hearing, and to celebrate it. And as you live it, then you give the template or the blueprint out to the whole collective field. So working within, living your highest potential within, and then you give out these vibrational frequencies. It's just like, as I say, with the magnets, if you're living alignment, that's the field of energy you're holding for everybody around you too. But you must do it within first.
Yeah, and I mean, the purpose, as I see it, is to be you. The purpose is not, that old thing like, oh, set a goal and be this, become this. No, you're just going to be your true, authentic you and just vibrate all of your true blueprint, in its highest creation. So everyone that just are in contact with you will actually be activated and remember who they are. So it's like, it's easy. It's supposed to be easy to be in your purpose. It's not about, I'm going to achieve this. Like, that's like the complete old template and the old system. So the new earth is really, and this whole work is about stepping into being fully authentic. And through that, you are the puzzle piece you came here to be. And it's going to be easy, and it's supposed to be easy. It's not like, I need to find my purpose, I need to find my mission. It's not, it's just being you, and whatever is coming in, you are going to build it. You're going to construct it fast. And whatever is not for you is just going to be completely dissolved very fast, as you say. And I see it in my sessions too. It's like I say to people, you cannot come back in 1 year, actually, because this is going to require a year of integration.
Yes, and also as well, like, there in the universe, time and space, there is no time and space. So if some were waiting, I'll be happy when I get to that point. I'll be happy when I complete there. And that's the old systems working, of success, or I need to there. But actually, I'm in it. I'm living it. I'm living it right here, right now. Look where we've got to. So first, celebrate where I am right now and reflect, say, wow, I've done really well to survive this. It was rough, but I did it. So let's celebrate that first. And within that celebration, there's appreciation. And then I'm connected to my qualities. And then from those qualities, I can manifest not from a wound, but from my potential, and live my potential. And the heartbeat is this drive of energy, which gives me that power to move forward and manifest and to create it on an abundant level. Because it's within that moment, I'm in celebration, I'm in creation, I'm in love, actually, because I've accepted love into the system, and I'm thriving, and I'm recreating, I'm mastering the system. So it's, for me, it's really presence. It's beautiful.
Yeah, and the polarity is also like connecting as much down to earth as you connect to source. And I feel that's something also sometimes that are really not imbalanced. So it really needs to be balanced and harmonized, so we can anchor also in all of that we are through all time and space, right? So if it's not anchored into earth, we're going to feel also that we are not living in our full potential, because our blueprint is not incarnated. We haven't said fully yes, actually. And we need to do that every single day. Like really feel that we're anchoring as much as we're connecting up. And if we're very anchored and not connecting up, we need to do that too. So the polarities is really being presented all the way. And I think that everyone that is listening to this now and feels some kind of like really feeling to the call to join us, know that the process starts now for you. If you feel within you that, okay, I'm gonna join Damien and Mia, the process is gonna start now. And for us, this work is really working massively, and that's the beauty of it. Even if it can be challenging, if you feel the calling, come join us, and know that whatever is needed to be presented is actually going to come into your field. And you might feel like, whoa, this is a lot, and see it as gifts. Like, really, this is the beauty of doing work like this together, coming together, many of us. Something is being presented. We are bringing out and opening the space together, me and Damien. And then all of you that are supposed to co-create with us comes in with the codes, and your process and our process starts like 2 weeks before. And every single challenge, everything that we feel is not in harmony, is for us to access that information so we can actually clear it once we go into the work, or activate it if there's something we feel that we are disconnected
Absolutely.
with.
And also, as you say, the work starts now. I know it's like, as soon as we said yes to it, and I notice that with every webinar and title that comes through my system, that as soon as I say yes, in my system, when I say yes, it's a commitment. I commit to doing it. And that opens a blueprint of this space for all the transformation of that topic to come through my system and start coming up in my life. So sometimes it can be a little rough, and it's like things go out of balance to come back into balance. So I notice even when we said yes and committed to set up this workshop, I notice all the gifts of polarity is coming in much stronger, and the new information, the new codes start coming down about the polarities, about the feminine, the masculine, father, the mother aspects will come in, the child aspect. So it's beautiful. So I want to also let you know that if you're committing, the commitment makes a big difference in your system. It's like saying to your soul, I'm not going to bail out. I'm going to commit here. I'm going to do it, even if it gets rough.
Yes.
Because usually I find that with a big transformation, there can be big resistance from entering a field of big transformation, because your system's controlling you so much to stay in the old you, and says, oh my God, if you enter that field, I'll lose control. Yes, you will lose control, but you actually become yourself. You become a state of being with yourself. So yeah, it's working from now on. And if you commit into the system, you will get the results. You will really get strong results in the system. Yeah, it's beautiful. I love that commitment part. I noticed that very strong. And years ago, I was like saying, why are, I used to do it Thursday evening when I land in the city, shorter evening group. And then I'd do a stronger commitment one on the Saturday and Sunday. And I say, I always ask, why is it different? I'm giving everything all the time, And the difference was huge, because now you've got someone who's committed to a weekend and paid more, so they committed more. So the level of commitment, soul investment, makes a big difference in the system. So I would invite you to commit, and you will get your results.
Exactly. That's where you actually start the manifestation, right? Of it, through the commitment, the willingness, and the willpower. So that's everything, because that's also the self-mastery. You are the creator. Absolutely. So it's beautiful. And I'm really excited because I feel like we're working very differently, but we work with the same thing.
The same. And it's so beautiful, because what happens is, I know even when people book sessions or sign in for a webinar, it starts because they've done that, you've committed to that. Your system then will open up the systems in you which are ready to be resolved. So this usually happens. So it's like preparing you for the field of the transformation. So it'll open up all your topics related to that. So be aware that it'll start opening systems up. But this is beautiful, because then you're ready to enter the field of the transformation and receive what you're here to receive.
Yeah, and as you're talking, they really say also that this, like the recording also of this webinar, is going to be, you're going to need to use it through this year, because you will evolve so fast, not only from this work, but this work is really going to do like a fast track hit it actually in all levels. So you will be able to listen to it over and over again, and you will receive new aspects of it because you are evolving. You're opening more of your field of your system and can understand more. So it's really coming through like an important recording to hold on to, because it's also so important what we are taking into our system this year more than ever, as we're becoming also more sensitive because we're heightening everything. So really just bring in what resonates with you, do the webinars that resonates with you, even it can be a little bit of resistance though. So know that this kind of recording, if it resonates with you, it's going to assist you very, very, very much, because there's not so much work out there, unfortunately, around this yet.
It's interesting what you said about the recordings. I got that information years back, saying, Damien, you must record everything, you must record everything. And the recordings are there because, for example, you say, okay, someone says, I love you, or you've done really well. Your system usually like blocks that love, receiving that love or acceptance that I've done well. And then the next time it goes in a little bit more, and then the next time it goes in a little bit more, and then your system's open. So it's the same with the webinars. So we're bringing in codes and activating codes, and it first has to break through the dam, and then the dam slowly opens and opens and opens. And sometimes in the webinars we get everything at once, and then sometimes it takes a little bit more for the frequencies to enter the state of being. So it's really good to rewatch the webinars, because we're always changing. As Mia said, we're always developing. We're in a state of creation all the time. So we're always new. The webinar is always new. The frequencies are always new. And you will have a different effect every time you watch it. So it's key to rewatching. That's why all the webinars I do are recorded, is because I know that the field is getting stronger. The results of that field is getting stronger. And so when we create a field like this with the intention of the polarities, it means that the results that I get, that Mia gets, that everybody in the group will get, those results are in that field of the webinar. And as you watch it again, there's more results in the system. So as the time goes on, this field will get stronger and you will integrate it much faster. So if you come in and watch this video a month later, you're probably coming in at a point where it's really potent, because we've gone through the birthing experience. I always see it like birthing a child. So the child is birthed, and then the frequencies come in really smoothly. So I would recommend you definitely to watch the recordings. And don't worry if you miss that date, because it'll just keep going stronger and stronger as the time goes on.
Exactly. Beautiful. I'm so happy to do this with you, Damien, and happy for all of you that are coming in already to the field on a higher level. It's already divinely planned who's going to come and not. And a lot of way showers. If you see yourself as a way shower in any way, it's you're gonna feel this also being very important, because as it's integrated inside of you, as you say, Damien, it's also gonna really activate so many others and the field. So each and every one of you are so important and feel the calling to come with us.
Beautiful. And we're all adding these special qualities and supporting each other. Yeah. Right.
So we hope to see you, everyone.
Thank you for and yes, I look forward. We're all unique, we're all special, and it's not that I have something special that you don't have. We're all bringing our own qualities into the system, and we all can, it's about remembering who we are and then accepting our full potential, accepting our full potency into our lives. Because we all have that inner system. There's a few things in the way, but once you clear that, then we start becoming more whole and we remember our potency.
Yeah, we need your commitment, guys. So come in the field. Thank you so much. Thank you, Damien.
Thank you.